city, in the heart of town.
We found Cody Dickinson in the big city of Montreal, where he's on tour with the North Mississippi All-Stars. Cody's just released his debut solo album titled Homemade, and he just played a few shows on his own to promote the new record, finally getting back on the road after an extended period at home, making Homemade.
You know, when I was writing the album, I definitely thought about the stage a lot. You know, playing live was just one step away from my thoughts while I was writing most of the record. You know, some of it is a little introverted and expansive, you know, but most of it is just like straight ahead, bluesy, you know, groove music. And it was a lot of fun to play live. I had a great band.
Cool.
There was a couple of guys. The group was from mostly from New York. The rhythm section came from a band called Johnny in the Basement. They were killer, and the guitar player was Aubrey McCready from Mississippi with me.
Okay, yep. I got to have somebody from down south. Excellent.
Yeah. Man.
So my understanding is that you kind of got signed as a solo artist from some kind of Grammy event meeting thing. So what's the backstory there?
Oh man. Good. Yeah, I've never had a chance to tell this story. It was a beautiful day, man. It was an incredible day. My wife and I, Michelle and I, went to the Grammys. We had a nomination with the North Mississippi All-Stars for, I think, Contemporary Blues Album of the Year. And I'm a co-producer and co-creator on the Take Me to the River film series. And man, they are a joy to work on. It's a big project, though. There's a lot of people involved. Right. And Take Me to the River was nominated for American Roots, and we won. It was like we won. Yeah, and, you know, long story short, we won, and everybody kind of looked at each other like, "Oh my God!" We went up on stage and accepted the award, and well, I mean, really, Aaron Neville won. You know what I mean? It was his song. It was an Aaron Neville song. Gotcha. But there's a whole team of people, producers that are involved in making it happen. And I kind of, basically, my job is early in these projects, I sort of build the production team that sort of curate the artists and the songs that are going to be in the film. Well, we after the awards, everyone went to celebrate, and we went to have dinner right there by the Staples Center, and I met John Sabkia from Strong Place Music there. He was the gentleman who had released the album that won the award. He did the sound. He released the soundtrack, and it was just perfect timing, man, because I had the songs ready. I had just finished the album, literally like that week. I think I had just done my first round of rough mixes. Right. And, you know, we were just talking, and, you know, the energy was great, and our enthusiasm was high. You know, everybody was high for winning the award. And I've got to tell you, man, it was the most incredible partnership, because Strong Place Music has just been a fantastic label. Working with them it validated my creativity. Like, I produced the record myself and played all the instruments, wrote all the songs. It was very much a one-man show, you know? Right. And having them all of a sudden having creative partners to work with really just elevated my work. You know, it's like a creative validation of the creativity, and just really, it just elevated my performances. And I wrote a couple of songs last minute after I got signed, and having someone to bounce ideas off of, and it's just been fantastic. Cool. So so was it a big deal for you to decide to put your own record out? You've been a band member for years, and, you know, this is kind of a big, especially since you're doing it all yourself. It's not like you're absolutely, you know, and I'm the drummer in the band. Right. I'm the drummer in the North Mississippi All-Stars. You know, I play in a bunch of bands. I'm so blessed to play. I play with Phil Lesh from the Grateful Dead sometimes. I play with Dwayne Betts from the Almond Betts Band. And I'm also play drums in the Almond Betts Family Revival, which we do once a year. And so I have a bunch of different projects I work with. And my main band is the North Mississippi All-Stars. And for all of those groups, I play drums.
Yep.
But it's just kind of by default because I'm also a guitarist and a piano player and bass player and singer and all that stuff. And I just play drums because nobody else can do it, man. No, I'm just kidding. But so yeah, it was a big deal, man. It was like, I love what I do, and I love being able to play a supporting act, basically for the most part. But this was it was a exciting opportunity for me to really step out and try something new. Also, the collection of songs I had written, it just sort of they sort of demanded that it was sort of a standalone piece. It
Right.
was like once I had Big City and Goodbye Albuquerque Tuesday Night, there was this common theme of family
Yep.
and sort of like a new chapter in life,
Yeah.
growing up and my priorities changed like everyone else. And I just, it was really when I had Goodbye Albuquerque Tuesday Night when I was like, these songs need to stand alone in their own, their own book, so to speak. They're like
Gotcha.
chapters of the story.
Yep. Yep.
Going home, first thing smoking. She called me on the phone, all alone. Words were spoken. Going home, I ain't joking. She called me on the phone, all alone. First thing smoking.
So what was it like working by yourself at home as opposed to with other people in a studio?
Great. It was awesome. I love it actually. My my wife and I were raising we have two babies. Well, they're kids now, they're toddlers, but my daughter Mavis is going on 4,
Right.
and my son is 2. And they were just little bitty babies. And
Yep.
when I was working on this record, so I had a lot of time home. Time can be the biggest gift sometimes for creativity, because it just gave me an opportunity to reflect and to write, and all these songs just came. It was like I was working and I was in my studio, but the creativity was definitely flowing, and it was so much inspired by my kids and my
Right.
wife.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was like they were informing me and like my ideas. And while I was actually making the record, they would come upstairs. My studio's upstairs, and like I would work early in the morning usually, and they'd wake up and come up and like listen and dance and hang out. And actually Mavis grabbed the mic when I was doing the vocals for Albuquerque. She grabbed the microphone and she was like, dad, 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 dad. And she's like making all these sounds and like kind of like sassy, like ad libs, like like
Yep.
kind of sounds on the mic and stuff.
Yep.
And it was so, well, first of all, it was on my vocal track, like there was no separation, so it
Gotcha.
made it on the record. And it was just like it was so creatively informing the content of the songs. It's all about missing them.
Yep.
And like them calling me on the phone and stuff when I'm on tour. So it's very much, the album takes on, it's really about love, when it comes down to it. But it takes on the kind of conflict of making a living on the road and touring while also being a family man and having kids at home, and what that felt like. It's tough, but to answer your question, man, it was really great working alone and recording with the family like that. It gets me out of my head too with the performances.
Right. Yep. So you're on the road now. It's a different thing for you, I assume, than it was pre-babies and marriage and all that stuff. And I know from experience, I have a grandson who's just about to turn 2, and I don't.
Congratulations!
If I don't see him for 3 days, he looks different. There's like stuff.
Exactly.
So it's got to be driving you, in your mind the whole time you're on the road.
It's tough, man. Yeah, they grow so fast, don't they? And FaceTime is amazing. Like, thank goodness for like Zoom and FaceTime, things like this, because we can I'm at least able to see them and talk and stuff. But yeah, it's tough, man. My daughter is my son is so young, he still doesn't really understand why I have to leave all the time.
Right.
So that's even more difficult. But Mavis, you know, like she called me today or last night when I was traveling. She's like, "Hey, Dad, have you made it to work yet?" You know, like she gets it, you know, and so that makes it easier.
Yep,
Right?
yep. I gotta think that Mavis might have been named after a certain Staples.
Oh, absolutely, man. You know, yeah. I mean, God, Mavis Staples is such a wonderful, wonderful person and incredible artist. I get to play with her too sometimes. I've played drums with her over the years a few
Great,
times.
great. Now, speaking of your drumming, this was something I was going to bring up, and I don't know how you feel about it because I read a couple of the reviews of the album, and
Yeah,
there are comments such as like, well, Cody's more than just a drummer, you know.
right.
And I was like,
Yeah,
you wouldn't hear somebody saying, well, so and so is more than just a guitar player or a keyboard player, but drummers
isn't
have a
that funny?
special place in people's minds. How do you feel about that?
Man, wow. You know, I think that was a big part of this record. You know, like my wife said, she's like, I'm so excited for this album to come out so people can see what you do, you know, so they can really understand the full capacity of what you do. And it's funny because behind the scenes, I feel like people already know that stuff, but I guess like for the most part, they don't, you know, and like I really am truly known. And this is another funny thing about that is people come up to me at the shows. They're like, I thought you were going to play drums.
Right,
Like,
right.
like they come to the gig and they expect me to be, you know, which is fair enough. Like,
I
and
guess it's your
I know
show.
I probably should have been clearer about the fact that, no, this is me stepping out. And, you know, I suppose I could play the songs on the drums. It's just it's difficult to sing behind the drums. Cause you know, there's no melodic
Yep.
reference, you
Yep.
know, and stuff. So I like singing behind the drums. I do it, you know, quite a bit.
Work or leave on.
That right, exactly, man. Oh, what a legend. What a legend. But you know, no, I do think that's funny, you know, and it's I guess, you know, it's nice that it's nice for drummers to get some love too.
Yep.
Another funny thing about that is the only guest on the album is Takira Jackson,
Right.
TK from Southern Avenue, and she's the drummer.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. But she's also a great singer and artist in her own right. So it was
Right.
kind of a chance for her to shine too.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, yeah, drummers unite and rule. You know,
There you go.
the drummer's revenge.
I don't know. Have you seen the Get Back documentary about the Beatles that Peter Jackson did?
Yes.
So
incredible.
I think everyone has a newfound respect for Ringo from watching that because he's just sitting there doing amazing things without anybody telling him what to do, or you know, it's amazing.
What an absolute superstar! I agree 1,000%. Ringo is the star of that show, man. It was incredible watching him. And you know, they're like having their dynamics and their bickers and their you know the group friction that is inevitable in any band, and the way he handles it is just so cool, man. And then he sits back and just plays so great. You know, what also Yoko, Yoko, like I don't want to go too deep into this, but I know a lot of my friends over the years have like, you know, like she got a bad rap, dude.
Definitely, I agree. Yep.
And she's so cool in the movie. She's sitting there doing a crossword puzzle. It's like, come on, dude. Yoko Ono's not the problem here.
No, definitely not. I mean, they were just growing, you know, maturing. These guys are in their mid-20s and they did stuff they needed to do. You know, they would have got back together eventually if stuff didn't happen. So,
you know, but it's funny. I could talk about this all day. Another scene that blew me away in that film is it Get Back? It's the actual song Get Back when he writes it.
Dude, it's like you see it happen in front of your face.
I think this might sound good, guys. You know, it's just like, what? It's unbelievable. It's so beautifully shot too. The color, Peter Jackson, man, like colors and everything. Yeah, what a great film.
Yep. And of course, they were lucky to have like Billy Preston just hanging out at the same time.
God, yeah, man. And what just a special time, man. And another incredible person. Marty, I got to say, I love that Mac SE in the background.
Oh,
your Macintosh. I've got the same one. Yeah, yeah. Is that an SE or the
I'm not
classic?
sure. A friend of mine, well, he's a hoarder, basically. He
Yeah, yeah,
brings
yeah.
stuff in. He goes, "Oh, this will look great
My
at your
people.
place."
Tell him yeah, tell him I love it. Yeah, it
And
really
and of
does.
course, I can't really comment on hoarding because you can see my record collection in the background there. So
Wow.
yeah, and that's just the L. That's just the
Wow.
12 inches. I've got like 14,000 7 inches in the other room.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow, that's incredible, man.
got carried away. Now, one track I wanted to talk about was As Fast as
Sure.
It Comes, because there's some wicked guitar playing going on there.
When I rise in the afternoon, I'll be singing a softer tune. She rides a dragonfly, makes love to the man on the moon. She's heard it all before, don't remember when. She gets there long, but she'll be back again. As fast as she comes is how soon she goes away.
You're the first person to ask me about that, and
Oh, good.
thank you, because I'm really, really excited about that lead guitar track. It's that's me playing guitar,
I figured.
and I just don't get to play. I don't get to play lead as much, and that day was just a special day. And some of those licks that I got, like when I went back to learn the record to go on tour, I was like, whoa! I was like trying to play some of that stuff. Yeah, there's some interesting dissonance. Like I got into playing like some sort of like chromatic stuff that's not necessarily in key, and like kind of rubbing it the wrong way a little bit, but then
Right.
going for the pretty major stuff. And I have to say, I have to give credit where credit is due. That is heavily, heavily influenced, that particular song and that guitar track, by my buddy Eric Shinkman and the Spin Doctors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Two Princes and Little Miss Can't Be Wrong and that stuff.
Yeah.
I love that band, and we've always been good friends. And Eric and I work together, and I just love his approach on guitar. It's just like got this real kind of in your face sort of melodic playing that's rocking, and I was just trying to like channel my inner Eric Shinkman on that. And when I was done with it, I was like, oh my God, this sounds so much like the Spin Doctors. I had to send it to him and be like, hey man, check it out. You really inspired me, dude. So I didn't think I was like directly ripping him off,
Right.
because it was inspired, but man, I got really close. A little too close, I think.
That's it. Well,
but
as long as he didn't think you got too close, you're okay.
yeah, he was like, "Oh, he was like, this is great. I love it. This is great."
Very cool. Very cool. So I'm curious, after going through the process of making this record pretty much on your own, did that change you? Do you think of yourself differently now as a musician?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it feels really good to release a collection of work like this, to cross the finish line. As artists, we can work forever. We can write and record. And finishing is kind of the hard part, and for lack of a better, I think that's what the producer's job is to ultimately get it done,
Right.
And self-producing can be tricky, man. We can work, but I had a great team of people, involved in helping me finish. And yeah, it felt really good to get it out. And now I know I can do it,
Yeah. Did you get any feedback from your brother Luther?
Oh man, yeah, he's really busy. He's really busy doing his stuff. But yeah, he would come over, and in fact, the song Homemade Blues, he had played on Homemade. He was on the record, but at the last minute, I rewrote the song. Homemade was kind of like a melancholy, slow piano song.
Right.
And but the lyrics were all about growing up in North Mississippi. And Karen Weissman, she said, my incredible publicist, Karen said she expected it to be a blues song. She was like, when I was just sending her the lyrics, when she heard it, she was like, wow, I thought this was going to be a blues. She just said it in passing. And in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, wait, this should be a blues song. So I rewrote and re-recorded it, which goes back to my earlier point of how incredible it was to have a group of people that all of a sudden I'm collaborating with. So because their ideas and their feedback was a big influence on me, man. So I went back and rewrote and re-recorded the song.
Cool.
And into what it became Homemade Blues. So Luther's not on it, but Luther was on the original version.
Gotcha.
You know?
All right.
Yeah, he played some killer slide on there.
Oh, that's
but also, but I feel like if Luther had played on the record, it would be confusing for people as to who's playing what. Because sometimes when I play slide, I sound like him. I mean, really, I'm just stealing his licks. I'm just like trying to rip him off left and right, dude. Kind of like Eric Schenkman, you know. But it's me, you know what I mean? So just for it makes it more simple too, I think, just to know that it's me playing the guitars on the record.
It sounds like a Hammond organ in there, but is it? You can't tell what is.
It's just a Nord. But I got it through an amp, you know, like I amplified a Nord.
Right.
You know? But there's definitely some keys in there. I write mostly on guitar, but equally as much on piano. You know.
All right. So now that you got the record out, you must have played down in Australia at like Byron Bay Blues Festival. Have you been down there for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you realize that it's not that far from New Zealand.
Let's go. Yeah. It's a hop, a skip, and a jump, man.
That's it. 2-hour flight and you're here.
I would love to come play some shows. I would love to come play Homemade Blues down there, man.
There you go. That's what we need to hear.
Hang out with you, man. Reconnect with Karen. I mean, we got stuff to do.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.